So it is once again time for another Manchester derby, a special day in any football fan's calendar. But ladies and gentlemen, this time around the meeting between Manchester United and Manchester City is a tiny bit of a special one, as it is going to be in the semi-final of the EFL Cup, where the winner of this game is going on to play either Tottenham Hotspurs or Brentford in the final of the competition. More realistically, going to be against Tottenham Hotspurs. But before we get into that, hey everyone, my name is Finn, and welcome back to my channel where I do have regular football content, where today I'll be discussing with you guys, or to you guys, the Manchester derby. I'll be discussing the weaknesses and strengths of both teams this season, maybe give you a tiny bit of a prediction, and at the end of the video give you my combined starting 11 with the best players from each team. But as I did say, regular football content on this YouTube, and if you do like that, please do subscribe down below if you are not already, as the goal is to reach 1,000 subscribers on YouTube this year. I would really appreciate it. But looking at both of these teams, Manchester United versus Manchester City, I feel like this could be a very close game. Looking at Manchester United, for example, they are actually looking very, very good this season. I mean, they are currently top of the Premier League, obviously tied on points with Liverpool, with the game in hand, if I may add. So, you know, Manchester United this season are looking pretty good overall. One of the top scoring teams in the Premier League at the moment with 33 goals. They are looking very, very impressive overall. But on the other hand, looking at Manchester City, although they are 5th in the Premier League, they haven't had the best start. Their attack is not as good as it has always been known to be. Although they are missing some crucial players due to COVID-19, they still managed to beat Chelsea 3-1. So Manchester City is one of those heavily unpredictable teams, so I'm not entirely sure what will happen to them. I mean, once again, looking at Manchester United, attacking wise, their form is looking brilliant, and purely because they are playing well as a team. I have no problem saying, as a Manchester United fan, that is what I am. I have no problem saying that I think that Manchester City have the better individuals all around the pitch. But looking at Manchester United, this season they have played really well as a team, and that is what is carrying them through. On the other hand though, looking at Manchester City, it's not that they've played bad. I mean, as Phil Foden said in a recent interview, he thinks Manchester City has played really well this season. They just haven't been scoring their goals, and I mean, you can't blame them. Their two main strikers for a large portion of the season have been injured. Aguero, one of the best strikers the Premier League has ever seen, has been injured, has not scored a goal in the Premier League since January last year, and Jesus obviously struggling with injury quite a bit, so they've had to play Sterling or Kevin De Bruyne in the striker position. So, you know what, you can't blame them too much for not having that attacking threat, and it is a huge shame, because looking at Manchester City, they are that team that broke the 100 goals in a season record on multiple occasions, where if you look at them this season, they've only scored 24 goals so far, and at this rate, they are going to maybe, if they carry on this form, beat 50 goals this Premier League season. So I don't know, as I said, tiny bit unlucky in terms of their injuries. But you know what? Defensively, that is where Manchester City have been shining this season. That is why they are not lower down on the table, because they have only conceded 13 goals in the Premier League this season, the best defensive record. So defensively, Manchester City are sitting very, very strong. But versus Manchester United, one of the top attacking teams, anything could happen. And obviously, this isn't in the Premier League, so the chances of both their teams not playing their stronger teams it really, really is a possibility. But I'm just looking at this game. Obviously, I think Manchester City know that they are kind of out of the Premier League race. Look, it's a very close season. Anything can happen, but I think Pep Guardiola is going to look at competitions like this and say, you know what, we can still win this. We can still get a trophy there. So, you know what, in terms of a prediction for this game, I have no idea what's going to happen, because obviously, I don't think Manchester United lost at all to Manchester City in 2020. Maybe they lost once, but over the last year or two, United have looked very, very strong. But obviously, the season before that, for the last 2 or 3 seasons before that, Manchester City were the clear favorites. I mean, genuinely, I thought that team that won the Premier League 2 years in a row could go down as one of the best teams in the Premier League of all time. That Manchester City team was that good. And the thing is, they still have those players. They are just not performing well as a team, as I said, and they have been struggling with injuries, where Manchester United, as I said, has picked up on form. So I don't know. In terms of a result, for this game, I'm actually almost leaning more towards Manchester United. As I said, purely because they are not struggling with injuries and their form has been great in the Premier League. But as I said, Manchester City could also easily win this. But you know what, getting into my combined starting 11 between these two teams, now one crucial thing that I do want to tell you guys is this is going to be based on this season's form and players who I think will play in this fixture. For example, in the goalkeeper position, we've got David De Gea. Now, I will admit, I think Edison has been better than De Gea this season. More clean sheets, less goals conceded, but he probably will not be playing due to him testing positive for COVID-19. So because of that, I will put David De Gea in, which, to be 100% honest, I have no problem with that. I mean, even Dean Henderson could possibly play, and he's not even a bad shout. Because David De Gea, I will say this, I watch him game in, game out. This season, he has been spectacular, but from time to time, he has been let down by Manchester United's defense, which, by the way, guys, if you do want to check it out in the eye thingy up above, I have done a video where I rank every Premier League goalkeeper based on their performances this season, so please go check that out if you are interested. But as I said, that is just an example. De Gea will be my goalkeeper in this squad. Now, moving on to the defense, we do have a defense of Aaron Wan-Bissaka, Diaz, Stones, and Cancelo. As you can see, only one Manchester United defender in there. But as I said, that should not come to a shock, as Manchester City have defensively been the strongest in the Premier League this season. But you know what? I have to put Aaron Wan-Bissaka in the right back position. Even if Kyle Walker was fit to play, I have to put Aaron Wan-Bissaka there. Because as I said, watching him week in, week out, he is so defensively strong and one of the best defensive fullbacks in the world. Everyone always talks about Aaron Wan-Bissaka or Kimmich being one of the best right backs in the world. But defensively, Aaron Wan-Bissaka has got that nailed down to a T, and he has done that this season. Now, obviously, first centre back is going to be Diaz, who initially when he moved to Manchester City, I didn't think that he looked that strong. But you know what? He has nailed himself a first team spot in that Manchester City squad with 6 clean sheets in 13 Premier League games and only 7 goals conceded. He is actually looking very, very strong as of late. Second centre-back, John Stones. Now look, Manchester United fans, I know you're going to probably be asking where Harry Maguire is, but you know what? Looking at John Stones, he has been one of Manchester City's best centre-backs this season. And to be honest, I'm surprised he doesn't get more game time, because looking at him, in his 7 games that he's played in the Premier League, 5 clean sheets and only 2 goals conceded. He is technically Manchester City's best centre-back in terms of statistics this season. He is looking very, very strong, but looking at the left-back position, obviously there are some key choices. I mean, Manchester City themselves are spoiled because they've got Zinchenko, they've got Mendy, and Cancelo can play in that position. Obviously, Manchester United got Luke Shaw, got Telles. Neither of them are bad options, but I have to go for Cancelo once again. Although I really looked for so many reasons to put Telles in the squad, I have to put Cancelo, because I will admit, at times when Manchester City have not been creating this season, which is quite often, I think Cancelo has really moved up the pitch and changed the dynamics of the game. He has been a crucial part to Manchester City scoring goals this season, and defensively he has been strong, and he has to be in the starting 11 for me. Now moving on to the midfielders, I have 5 midfielders, as you can see: Marcus Rashford, Kevin De Bruyne, Rodri, Bruno, and Sterling. Now what obviously will happen is obviously Rashford and Sterling wingers, De Bruyne, Bruno attacking midfielders, and Rodri in a defensive midfield position. Because looking at Marcus Rashford this season, no, he is not on that fire start that he had last Premier League season, but still pretty good. 7 goals, 4 assists, and multiple times for Manchester United. He has really been that deciding player on whether they win a game or not. He is tricky with skills. He has won the most penalties for Manchester United, which, yes, of course, running joke. United only score penalties, but the reason they got those penalties is because of Marcus Rashford. So, you know what, you have to give him credit there. First attacking midfielder is going to be Kevin De Bruyne, and it really annoys me as a rival fan even that people are saying, oh, Kevin De Bruyne is not that good this Premier League season. He is not scoring goals. But at the end of the day, Kevin De Bruyne, the second most assists in the Premier League this season, 8 assists. Look, Manchester City did not buy Kevin De Bruyne for his goals. They bought him for his assists, and I'll say this, so far this season, he has been the best set-piece take in the Premier League. Yes, I know James Ward-Prowse for Southampton has scored quite a few, but it's not just about scoring free kicks. When it comes to getting free kicks into a header, when it comes to scoring from free kicks, when it comes to penalties, when it comes to corners, Kevin De Bruyne is your man. As I said, I know he is not scoring goals at the moment, but that is not what he was bought to do. 8 assists, second most in the Premier League, and he, I think, will play a crucial role in a game like this. Next midfielder is going to be Rodri, the defensive midfielder, which out of all defensive midfielders between these two teams has been the best performing. I mean, from Manchester United, you get Scott McTominay, you get Fred, but from both an attacking and defensive point of view, Rodri has been a solid player for Man City this so far this season. I mean, attacking wise, he gets a fair chance every now and then. Defensively, he can be super hard to get through. He really is the perfect box-to-box midfielder. Next midfielder, Bruno Fernandez, obviously, as I said, and you cannot not turn Bruno Fernandez down. 11 goals, 7 assists in the Premier League this season. And to be honest, I really want to say he's like a clear favourite to win the player of the season in the Premier League this season, but unfortunately, Harry Kane is doing so well. But you know what, Bruno Fernandez has been so impressive as of late. He wasn't that good versus Aston Villa in my opinion, but game in, game out, he normally is pretty good, and I don't feel like I have to justify that. Right wing going to be Sterling, although has played as a left winger or in the striker position for Man City so far this season. I just had to put him in the squad somehow. Obviously, some honourable mentions there would have been Ferran Torres or Mahrez, but you know what, Sterling really does deserve to be there. 4 goals, 3 assists, not fantastic overall, but as I did say, he has been playing out of position and the main strikers for City have not been there, but at the end of the day, still pretty good overall. Now looking at the striker, this is the controversial one. I have put Martial there. Now before all Man City fans click off the video, the reason I have done that is because Aguero has not been doing that well this season as he has only just come back from injury. So statistically, Martial is better. Jesus, there is a chance that he will not be playing in this game. Cavani will not be playing in this game, I don't think. So because of that, down to default, unfortunately, which is such a sad way to get in, I have put Martial, which 2 goals and 3 assists in the Premier League so far, which by the way, yes, I am just using Premier League stats for this. Looking at that, Martial is technically the best striker. But guys, that is the team, that is the combined 11 of those players. As you can see, I think that is a pretty strong team overall. And one thing I do want to ask you is to please put down in the comment section down below where you think this team would come in the Premier League if this was an actual team. But yeah, as I said, obviously it is a bit of a weird decision to make looking there. But as I said, you can see a lot of Manchester City players in the squad. But the reason I think Manchester United will probably win this fixture is because although City have the better individuals, Manchester United have played better as a team so far this Premier League season. So, you know what? Whether they'll translate into the EFL Cup, I'm not 100% sure. Obviously, over the last 4 years, Manchester City have a really good record in the EFL Cup. So, absolutely anything can happen. Yeah, as I said, it's going to be interesting to see Manchester United's really good attack this season versus City's really good defense, and whether United's attack will get past Man City without their main goalkeeper Ederson. I think that is highly likely, and although I said that versus Chelsea, although I said Chelsea will probably beat Man City because of that, although they didn't, I think United will just because of that fast counter-attack. I don't know, anything can happen. Guys, I know this video was a tiny bit everywhere, but once again, if you did enjoy it and you're not subscribed, please do consider doing so and hitting that like button down below. Would really like to hit 10 likes on this video, and of course, as I said, comment where you think this team would come on the Premier League table, or whether you think this team would win the Carabao Cup. Yeah, but guys, this has been Finn, FYNN. I do love and appreciate every single one of you. Bit of a slowed, chilled video. Do appreciate every single one of you. Stay awesome. Bye.
Unknown Brain, Marvin Devine. I'm saying bye to all the lies and all the times you cried, saying that I wasn't right, yet I was right by your side. You manipulator, playing games, your friends commentators, and I don't know what you say about our private conversations, but it's got them hate.